Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. This show is great because we talk about so many different ways we can help. And my next guest has been inspired by, a tragic moment in her life, but decided to give back. And I think she would probably agree that she's been given back the same after starting this initiative. I'm joined by Janet Gwilliam-Wright. She is the creator of Motherlove Project. Welcome, Janet. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
This is very personal for you. We just heard from Tony about a special person in his life going through a difficult time, but you lost your mom at a very young age. For both of you, Janet, tell me a little bit about your mom.
Yeah, so my mom's name was Cass. She was an advertising executive. I grew up in Vancouver. She died at 49 from breast cancer, and I was 18. She actually died on the day I graduated from high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's no ever recovering from that, Janet.
No.
And I know it stays with you to this day, but then you decided to do something about it. What was the impetus of that? What sort of started that drive for you?
So in 2020, it was the 25th anniversary of her death. She died in 1995, and I didn't have anywhere to commemorate her memory. For so many of us, when we lose somebody, we stop being able to talk about them or really memorialize them in any way. And I thought, well, if I wanted to share my story, maybe other people, other motherless daughters might want to share their stories too. So I just started a website and put it up on Instagram, not knowing what would happen. And over the last 2 years, we've had almost 80 women from around the world who've contributed their stories to the project.
Can you share one of those with us that sort of stands out for you, Janet?
Yeah, you know what? They all stand out for me. It's really quite amazing, but we've had women whose mothers have died from suicide, from cancer, from homicide, car deaths, all tragic circumstances. But the one thing that really resonates through all of these is hope, resilience, and the beauty of community that comes from sharing our grief and our stories of our mothers.
Yeah, talking about grief is so difficult for so many people.
Yes.
How have you managed to talk about it with these women and made them feel comfortable doing so?
Yeah, I think sharing my story was the first step in just putting myself out there to say, this is my experience of my grief over the last 25 years. It's really changed since I was 18, alone grieving my mother's death. So I think in just building those connections with women that I've never met, women from South Africa, from Thailand, from Indonesia, Brazil, women from all over the world writing into me and saying, I'd really like to share my story, and it's such an honor to share it.
You had a meetup event, your first meetup event, right, with the Motherlove Project.
Yes.
Tell me what that experience was like.
It was honestly transformative. Just to be in a room full of motherless daughters you've never met before, coming together to say, wow, that's your experience too? Oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. But so many commonalities between us, especially around the holidays, in-laws, trying to explain our grief to other people. There was just almost an instant recognition of, I see you, I feel your pain, and we really had quite an experience together. It was really amazing.
Janet, I'm glad you mentioned the holidays because, and I guess partly I'm guilty of it because on this show, when it comes to the holidays, we celebrate, right? We talk about the celebrations and we bring in ideas and how to entertain and so forth.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes we forget that people find themselves isolated, or that we find people that are grieving at a lost loved one. What are the holidays like for you?
Now they are lovely.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
they're amazing. My partner and I have 2 daughters, and we have our own traditions now, and that's really saved Christmas for me, I'll be honest. For many years it was very painful, and I really just wanted to kind of hide away. I didn't want to do holiday stuff. But now it's really joyous and it's filled with love, and I think for us too that it's an opportunity for me to remember all the amazing Christmases that I had with my mom too.
Yeah, and I guess, an opportunity to share. You mentioned you have 2 daughters.
Yes.
An opportunity for you to share, your mom's memories and, your holidays with her. What are some of your greatest memories of holidays with your mom?
The one that I always remember is my mom had this beautiful black and white dress, and she would stand at our mantle at the fireplace and she would paint her nails before she was going out. The nail polish was always the last thing to go on, and I always thought, oh God, she looks so beautiful and she was so elegant. And they were about to go out to a party and she was painting her nails, and we had Christmas music on and a big Christmas tree tree every year, and that just, it fills me with so much joy to think about that.
You mentioned you've started your own traditions.
Yeah.
What are some of the traditions that you and your family have started now?
So my amazing mother-in-law is a big part of our Christmas, and for the last few years she's come and stayed over at our house.
Nice.
On Christmas Eve. We have a big dinner, and then we wake up and we're all there together, and she gets to see us opening gifts and the girls opening gifts, and it's really special for them because they love their grandmother so much.
For the Motherlove Project, what do you see as far as the future goes? Where would you like to take this project?
Ooh, global.
Yeah. You've really, I mean, you've done it already to a certain extent.
In
right?
cyberspace, yes, but in real life I would like to. But I'm going to start local first with more meetups. We're going to have another meetup in March, so we'll be doing that. And then my hope really is to have a national event, to have motherless daughters from across the country or even the United States. We have a lot of folks in the United States that follow us who will come, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a conference, which will be really fun.
I love that idea.
Yeah, thank you.
How can people find you if there's somebody out there watching now and they want to share their own story with you?
Absolutely. So the website is www.motherloveproject.com or on Instagram at Motherlove Project.
Terrific. Janet, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it. And
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays
And
to
to
you
you.
and your family.
Thank
have
you
a
so much.
wonderful celebration. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
with more Daytime Ottawa right after this. Don't go anywhere.